everyone, and welcome back. Today I'm going to show you how to make delicious sausage rolls. There's many different ways to make these, but this sounds delicious. I've never made these before, so we're going to make these together. It's a perfect last-minute appetizer if you're looking for one. We still got New Year's coming around the corner. We still got football heading right into January. Breakfast it is this morning. So we're going to start off with 1 pound of breakfast sausage. And I'll say breakfast sausage because it's got some flavor and it's really delicious. People use this a lot to slice up, fry up, make like a sausage gravy to go over biscuits with this. So we're going to cut this open, just put it into a medium-sized bowl, and we'll get started with that. All right, I'm using the Jimmy Dean. Not sponsored by anybody. Pop this in there and get all that goodness out of there. Oh, this breakfast sausage always smells so good. I'm going to kind of break this up. It'll be easier to mix all together. Oh, let me know if you've ever heard of sausage rolls. I've wanted to make these for the longest time. And here we are. Okay, we're going to crack in 1 egg. We're going to stretch out this sausage mixture. We got to bind it. That's what the egg is for. Ooh, nice and pretty yolk in there. Can y'all see that? We're going to add in 1 cup of breadcrumbs. Now make sure they're the original. You don't want them seasoned like an Italian seasoning or anything like that. And if you want to use panko crumbs, you can do that also. All right, we'll put that in. Okay, now what we're going to do is season. We're going to start off with 2 tablespoons of parsley. This is just dried parsley flakes. Add a nice color to the dish. All right, let's put one over here. All right, we got onion powder. We're going to put in 1 teaspoon. Let's get down there. And we've got garlic powder, 1 teaspoon. Everyone's sleeping in. We got late work schedules today, so, but I'll wake them up with this. All right, we're gonna bring out the thyme. Thyme is always a good flavor for sausage. All right, we'll go in, we're gonna put in 1 teaspoon. Now what I like to do, set that down, just kind of crush it up in your hand. Releases the flavor of the thyme out of the little dried leaves there. Let's see, we're going to go in with a pinch of black pepper. How much do you like? That's how much you're going to put in. Don't overpower it. And then I got to get my salt. We're going to go in with half a teaspoon of salt. Let's see, right there. All right, let's mix that together. We're going to combine it well. As soon as I get this all mixed up, I'm going to bring you back and we'll start the second step. All right, it's all mixed up. I just kind of flatten it down in the bowl because we're going to cut this into pieces equally once we get our pastry rolled out. Now, I'm using puff pastry. There's 2 sheets that come into a box. You want to make sure you thaw this out before you use it. Sometimes it'll take about 40 minutes or so on your countertop. I'm using a piece of parchment paper. I just put it on a silicone mat. It comes in a package of 2, so we're going to open it up. Take one out. You're going to lay it on the parchment, unfold it, take out the paper, unfold it. All right, I'm going to take my rolling pin. We're just going to roll it out just a little bit, thin it out. Now I'm keeping an eye on those 3 lines that we had the folds on because that's where we're going to cut. There we go. I'm going to follow the fold line down. Now you don't want to cut through the parchment. There we go. I'm just going to equally spread these out. All right, let's bring our sausage mixture over. We're going to divide the sausage mixture 6 ways. 1, 2, I'm going to go all the way down. I'm going to go get some gloves on. We're going to take 1 of the 6 there. What you want to do is just kind of form it into a log shape, roll it, squeeze it, till we get a nice long shape. We want it kind of even. We're going to place it down and then just work with it till you get an even, long log shape here. Just like that. So once I get done with this one, I'll prepare the other three. Now you can certainly half this recipe if you want to do that. We're going to bring this up to the top. Then we're going to bring this one up to the top, stretch it just a little bit, pinch it down. I'm going to close it in at the end, close it in at the end here. And then I'm going to roll it just like that. All right, let me do the other two. We're going to pull it over, and then we're going to bring this side up and seal it just like that, all the way down. We're just going to pinch that side closed and this side. We'll just roll it. Now you could even bring a fork to the mix and do that. Let's roll it. Okay, I'm going to cut off the ends here. This is just dough. And then we're going to cut these into 2-inch pieces. 1, 2 right there. Now you can make these bigger if you want. Ah, there we go. You're going to take your knife. We're going to pierce the top of the dough 2 times. Create little air pockets. Oh, they smell delicious. They're not even cooked yet. All right, got these last 2 here. Make sure you can see through the top layer of the dough there. All right, we're going to lay them on a sheet pan lined with some parchment paper. Give them some space, about 2 inches apart. These are going to be so fun to eat. They look pretty. Perfect for New Year's. Perfect for your New Year's Eve party. But, like I said, or having them for breakfast. All right, let's top these. Okay, I have a small bowl with 1 tablespoon of water. I'm going to crack an egg into it. Take your fork, beat that together until it's nice and frothy. We're going to take a pastry brush and we're going to coat the tops of the dough here. We'll make these nice and golden. The drips are okay. I'm going to place this in the oven. It's been preheating at 425 degrees. We're going to bake these for about 20 minutes until they get nice and puffy and golden brown. While that's happening, I'm going to make the second batch, and then I'm going to bring you back and show you how I'm going to serve these up. Okay, I've just pulled these out of the oven. Don't they look delicious? Look how golden brown all the way around. That sausage totally cooked through. I'm going to show you how I'm going to serve these up and give it a try for you. All right, serve them up on a platter. In the center, put you a little bowl and then fill with your favorite dipping sauce. I'm using a honey mustard. You can use ranch, buffalo sauce, whatever you like. Today we're going to make baked macaroni and cheese mini bites. An appetizer perfect for New Year's, football season. Heck, you can make these as a side dish. Serve them up with your meatloaf, chicken, pork, or any other dish you want to make. We're going to start with the pasta in the back. While that's cooking, we're going to make a delicious creamy sauce to pull it together. Bake it in the oven till it's golden brown and nice and crispy on the outside, and then serve them up. Now I brought a large pot of water to a boil. If you place a lid on it, it comes to a boil faster. We're going to add in about half a tablespoon of salt so we can flavor the pasta. We're going to use 8 ounces. I'm using elbows here. You want to make sure that you're using a small pasta for this recipe. see right there. That's looking good. We're going to stir the pasta for 1 minute. That'll help keep it from sticking. And then we're going to cook it per the directions on the back of the package for al dente, about 6 minutes. I'm going to place my strainer on the pot and use that when we're ready to strain the pasta out once it's done. Now this is really easy to put together. While the pasta is cooking, we're going to go ahead and make that cheesy, creamy sauce that's going to pull it all together. You're just going to need a medium saucepan. We're going to place it on a medium heat. To the pan, we're going to add in 3 tablespoons of butter. 1, 2, and 3. We're going to allow that to melt. Okay, now that we've got a sizzle going on with our butter, we're going to add in 2 teaspoons of minced garlic. I'm just using up my jarred garlic here. A little bit more. There we go. We're going to stir this around for 1 minute. I'm going to bring in my whisk here. We're going to start whisking in 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. And we're going to cook this for about 2 to 3 minutes. Make sure you time your minutes here. All right, on the last minute, I'm going to go ahead and start seasoning with half a teaspoon of salt. Another quarter there, I had a quarter here. 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. And then we're going to add in some paprika. I'm going to sprinkle in. I'm going to add in about 1/4 teaspoon. A little bit more. All right, we're going to open up a can of evaporated milk. We're going to measure out 8 ounces. If you don't have evaporated milk, you can use regular milk. There we go. We're going to slowly whisk in the milk. Look at that color. Yeah. All right, we're going to whisk this for about 5 minutes. While that's happening, we're going to shred some cheese. Now I've turned off my sauce. We're going to grate 8 ounces of cheddar cheese. I like to grate my own cheese. It doesn't have any inclusions in it. And we don't want that potato starch that you normally find in bagged cheese. Now I've finished adding the other 4 ounces of the evaporated milk and smoothed out my sauce. You want it nice and creamy like that. We're going to add in the shredded cheese. Now I like to grate my cheese. If you use the bagged cheese, I'm going to tell you what's in here, which was crazy. It's got a potato starch in there. It's also got a natural mold inhibitor in there. Can you imagine what that is? But this cheese right here is cheddar cheese. So we're going to go in. I'm going to sprinkle it in. Start mixing that in until it all melts. Right, we'll get it all stirred in. Now, it may not all melt, and that's totally fine because it will melt when we add the pasta and then also when it goes in the oven to bake. But you just don't want to cook it any longer than what we did. There we go. Now, this is where you're going to adjust any seasonings that you may want in your sauce here. Let me tell you, I don't need any more. So what we're going to do, bring over our pot of cooked drained pasta. And we're going to add the sauce. Ooh, that looks so good. It's very tasty too. Let's mix this together. I'm going to be using a 24-tin muffin pan, or you can use the 12 muffin tin pan. That's the standard size, and you'll put more mixture into each one. But I'm going to be using the minis here because they look like appetizers. Now I'm just taking a pastry brush and I'm just swiping it through some very soft butter here, and I'm going to coat each of the tins here. You want these to pop out just like that. Get all the way down to the bottom and the sides. Now I will be laying my muffin tin on another sheet pan. That'll just keep the butter from going into the oven. We got our macaroni and cheese here. I'm using a 1.5-inch scoop, or it's kind of like a 2 tablespoons worth that you can put into each cup. So I'm just going to go in, smooth it out, and then pop it in. Just like that. The perfect bite. Now make sure you push it in there. That way it can form pretty good in there. Now you may have leftovers that didn't fit in the pan, and after these cook you can make the rest of them, or you can just put it into the refrigerator and use it for leftovers or heat it up for another meal. Because this can both be used as an appetizer or a side dish. When you're making the mini muffins here, you're going to be using less in each cup than you would in a standard size one. You might be getting 3 or 4 of them in that one there, so you might have leftovers and have to double up. I'm just going to put it in a to-go container and pass it off to the kids to take to their house, because it won't even make it into the refrigerator, I'm telling you, not with them. Joseph's the big cheese eater, and he loves macaroni and cheese. Now we are going to put a topping on here before we place it in the oven. I'm going to be using some Italian-style breadcrumbs. Now the ingredients in here, it has dried parsley, spices, onion powder, paprika, and other ingredients. I'll just put it in a bowl here. I'm just going to use a spoon, but it might be easier if I just do that. Right on top, give it a nice little crispy, crunchy bit on the top there. Okay, I've got my oven preheated at 350 degrees. Since I'm using the mini tins today, I'm going to be baking these for about 15 to 20 minutes till they're nice and golden brown on the top. If you're using the standard size, I would go up to about 25 to 30 minutes. I'll be back. I sprinkled dried parsley on top to give it a pop of color. I let these sit in the pan for about 5 minutes to kind of pull their shape together. The perfect mac and cheese bite. Merry Christmas, everyone. Welcome back to Catherine's Plates. I'm going to show you how to make this delicious Ritz cracker Christmas tree appetizer. Doesn't this look delicious? I'm going to tell you what, no one's going to want to take one off of there because it looks so good. We're going to start making that filling first. Let's build this Christmas tree. The first ingredient is going to be this Bleu cheese. We're going to need 8 ounces. Now this one has 6 ounces in it, so I got another one so I can pull out a few ounces from here. Now as you can see, the name looks like it says Boursin cheese, but let me tell you, it is called Bleu cheese. We've used it before in recipes and it's very delicious. This one has a garlic and herbs flavor to it. So we're going to add it to a large mixing bowl. They come in different flavors. There we go. And 2 ounces from this one. I think that'll be good right there. I'm going to break it up. Now to that, we're going to add in 10 ounces of spinach. This is the frozen spinach that's already been chopped. Now I thawed it out and then I wrung out any of the excess water from the spinach to kind of keep it dry. So we're going to add that. I'm going to show you the box here, what it looks like, just so you can have an idea. So you know you're getting the right stuff. That right there. Now we're using the HEB. All right, we're going to set this off to the side for just a second. We're going to bring over roasted red bell peppers. Now, if you can't get it open, you use your husband. Okay, so there we go. He's handy to have in the kitchen. Plus, he's my cameraman. This will add the red to our Christmas tree. We've already got the green. Okay, so we're going to take one out. You want about a 1/4 cup. Ooh, look at those charred bits on there. I love this because they're already cooked, nice and charred. I'm just going to chop it up into small dices. Got to add flavor everywhere you can. All right, I'm going to see what this was packed in. Packed in water, and it has the sea salt flavor to it. We got a fine dice here. That looks good. Let's go ahead and add that to our mixture. We're going to give it some seasoning, extra flavor. We're going to go in with a 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder. I'm going to mix the whole thing up and give it a try, and then see if we need to add any salt. I'm just going across and then back over again. And back over again. All right, let's cream all of this together. Now you can make this mixture ahead of time and then build your tree right before you need the tree for the appetizer. Okay, I got this all mixed up. I'm going to go in with my spoon, give it a taste, and see if I need to add any salt. I'm going to be adding a little bit of salt. About 1/8 of a teaspoon, or a pinch. There we go. I'm going to mix that together. We're going to build a tree. We're going to lay half of the crackers down on your serving platter, which will be 30. Now lay them the front side down. Now that's the back side, that's the front side.
Oh, so the back side is flat.
Yeah, he'll show you.
Oh. See, that's flat. That's not flat, you see?
Right.
Yeah. Learn something every day.
So did I. I thought he was going to eat it. I think they did too. Raise your hands if you thought he was going to eat that cracker.
I better not see one hand.
These are Ritz crackers, and they're delicious.
Yeah, they are.
To me, they kind of got a buttery flavor to them. Now, this is not where the crackers are going to be. We're going to be building these up into a tree. So I'll have Thomas keep track of the amount. Now, you want to be sparingly with the mixture, as we're going to put some on each of the 30 crackers. So keep that in mind. Probably about that much right there. We can always go back and fill more.
All right, I got to admit, now I'm tempted to eat one. But I won't.
You can have the whole one after it's all said and done.
All right. Make
sure it goes to the edge. It's a perfect little appetizer, and it's just going to look cute. It smells delicious. That little bit of salt really helped. It really made all the difference. So, all right, I'm going to bring you back as soon as I get all of these finished. Now, I'm using the Bousson cheese. You can use other types of cheese. You just want to make sure it's a very soft, mild cheese, very creamy-like. And it's got flavor in it, or you can add your own flavor to it. We're almost done here.
You could probably do cream cheese.
Yeah, make it very, very soft, but you know, you got to make sure that it's going to hold up to everything, and which cream cheese should. All right, I'm just filling in where I need to with the rest of that mixture. There wasn't much left to do that with. What we're going to do is take the other 30 Ritz crackers and we're going to place them on top of the mixture on each cracker. Make sure the top part of the cracker is facing up. Just kind of squish on there a little bit. Just a light little tap. Don't squish all your mixture out. Then it'll look funny. All right, we're going to finish these up. All right, that should give us 30. All right, let's build the tree. I'm going to pull these off except for 10 of the sandwiches to create the bottom base of our tree, and then we'll come in with the rest of them. Now this is going to be like 3D, so it's going to be on top of each other as a tree shape like I showed you earlier. So we're going to create a circle with 8 of them. 4, 6, 8, 9, and then 10 in the center. 2 in the center. Now you're going to build this before you're ready for your party. And then we're going to build up from there. We're going to create the second layer. Okay, we have 1 in the center, and then I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 on that second layer from the bottom. All right, we're creating our third level from the bottom. All right, how does that look? So far, we got it. All right, let's create level 4, which we're going to put 3 right on the top. 1, 2, and 3. We're going to put 2 on top of there. 1, there we go, 2, and 1. All right, there we go. Now, we're not finished yet. We got to put some lights on the tree. In the vegetables section of your store, they make things pretty simple for you when they chop up vegetables, all right? I've got 3 bell peppers, red, yellow, and green. It came in a little container already diced up. You know, it's Christmas. You're doing parties. You're doing tree trimmings, whatever you're doing. Make your life easy. So we're going to take some of these. We're going to sprinkle it all over the Ritz cracker Christmas tree. And then we got to make a star. Now you can certainly dice your own if you want, but I'm going to go around the Ritz crackers, add these diced peppers, put it around your platter. I'm using a whole yellow bell pepper. I'm just going to cut off one side. That's where we're going to cut our star out of. And I'm just going to take some cutting shears. Now, if you're really good at using a paring knife, you can use that also. And what we're going to do is cut on one side a V. Then we're going to turn it. And then we're going to cut another V. There we go. Then we're going to go on the other side, directly opposite of that one, and we're going to cut another V up to the point of our first tip right there. And then we're going to cut the other side of the V. All right, now we're going to cut 2 V's down at the bottom portion here. And then we're going to make an upside down V right here. There we go. That's about the easiest way you can do it. We're going to top our tree with it. All right, we're just going to put it right on top of our Christmas tree. We'll put it like that. There we go. Merry Christmas, everyone. Here's my Ritz Cracker Christmas tree appetizer. Welcome back, everyone. Today we are going to make the perfect appetizer, or you can even use this as a quick weeknight dinner. We're going to make chicken Cordon Bleu sliders. You know these. There's chicken, ham, Swiss cheese. We got a delicious sauce on the inside, and we're going to flavor those buns with something on the outside of them. First thing we're going to set up is our sheet pan. And let's talk about the buns. Now, I'm using these sliders. They're soft, they're white, and they're minis. There's 12 of them in this package. You can even use the King's Hawaiian rolls if you want to do those. Now, these are already pre-sliced. For the King's Hawaiian rolls, you do need to take your big serrated knife and run it through them lengthwise to get tops and the bottoms. So we're going to go ahead and take these out of the package, and then I'm going to place the bottoms on our sheet pan. Y'all, this is a great one. If you've got a potluck, if you've got a football game fixing to happen, and you need something quick and easy, these are it. All right, we'll lay them like this. We've got 12 of them happening. You can make as many of these as you want. That's what's great about this recipe. All right, let's pull the tops off and save them for later. Now, if you are wanting to know, the ones that I'm using, these are the Pepperidge Farm Bakery Classics. And there's 12 of them in the package. All right, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get some mayonnaise on the bottom of the buns here. So we'll just squeeze a little bit on each one. These are mini sandwiches, so we got to have a dressing, right? And mayonnaise will suit the bill. Hey, if you're going to make these for a football game, whose team are you rooting for? Of course, we're in Southeast Texas, so we're going to be rooting for the Texans. But y'all let us know down below. And let's see which team has the most viewers. We would like to know. All right, I'm just spreading this out so every bite has that mayonnaise on there. All right, I like these for a quick dinner idea too, because you can make as many as you want of these. I'm going to show you just how easy that happens. All right, next, we're going to put in some of this right here. This is a delicatessen style mustard. It's by Boar's Head. Now you can use any mustard you want. If you like the Dijon mustard or just plain regular mustard, that's totally fine. So we'll squeeze just a little bit on each of the bottom buns here on top of that mayonnaise. Now we're just going to take a knife and we're going to spread that evenly over the bun also. We'll use the same knife. Give us some nice flavor on our Cordon Bleu sliders. Thomas is excited. We're going to have a few for lunch and then passing these on to the kids. They got a lot going on today, so I figured well, that's a good way to get rid of the rest of these. All right. Does that look good, you guys? Woo, look at that. Yeah. Okay, next we're going to put a layer of cheese on here. Now, Cordon Bleu is known for its Swiss cheese. Look at that. So I'm going to lay these across because these will melt and then we'll be able to cut through them as we cut our individual portions here. So I'm just going to lay them on top like that. That is some good Swiss cheese. We had this cut at our deli place there. I'll get one more going here. There we go. It's almost like 2 slices for each bottom bun there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put some ham. Cordon Bleu is all about the ham. Now this is deli ham, Black Forest. So I'm going to lay this across also. Y'all, if y'all can cut this very, very thin, this was a, what was this, a number 1? 2. It was a number 2. That's what Thomas says. Okay. You want it thin enough. But you can use any ham that you want for this recipe. If you got leftover ham, be great on the holidays. You can use leftover ham for this also. I love how simple this recipe is. I really do. Let's talk the chicken. You want to make sure your chicken is fully cooked. Now, I've got deli chicken here. This is sliced, and it's off of a rotisserie that they have there. But you can use any chicken you want. Just got to make sure that it's fully cooked. It's not going to be in there long enough to cook your chicken, so like chicken nuggets would be another good one to put on here. Chicken strips that are, they're already breaded and fried up for you. You can do that. There we go. We've got our bottom bun down there. We've got the cheese. We've got the ham. We've got the chicken. And then what we're going to do is take our top buns. Y'all remember those? Right here. We're going to take some mayonnaise again. And what we're going to do is lay these out on my nice clean countertop. And we'll do the same thing that we did on the bottom. So we're going to take the mayonnaise and squeeze it on each one. Yeah. Now I'm using a olive oil mayonnaise because it's half the fat of regular mayonnaise. All right, and then we're going to take a knife to this again, spread it out. I love sliders. I have a lot of slider recipes on my website, catherinesplates.com. And just type in sliders, and they'll all come up. We have some good ones over there. And this recipe will also be there. So go check it all out. You got it. We're going to put some mustard on there. My deli mustard, I should say. You don't want to oversaturate. We want all the flavors to come together. There we go. Boop. Take a knife, sludge it along. There we go. I'm just going to go across all three of them at the same time. Love that mustard. All right, got that on there. Now, I was going to show y'all that this mustard, the delicatessen style mustard, has white wine and horseradish in it. Gives it a little kick. All right, what I'm going to do is probably going to layer some more cheese, ham, and chicken on top of there for a double layer. Yep, I think that is definitely what I'm going to do. It's going to be a double-decker. Now the cheese I'm using is a imported Swiss cheese product of Switzerland. It smells so good. I'm going to put a layer of ham. I'm going to tell y'all what ham we used. It was the old-fashioned uncured ham off the bone. This was from our deli. All right, and then we got the chicken. What kind of chicken would you like to use on yours? I'm just going to go across the top with it right here because we're going to cut these into single portions. Since we got hungry kids, we're going to want to double that up. We're going to put the buns on top. So just put the mayonnaise and the mustard side on top of the meat so that the tops of the buns are facing upwards. I feel like I have to say that. Somebody will ask that. There we go. Woo, look at that. All right, what we're going to do is cover this with some foil. Just going to tuck it around them just a little bit. Now I've got my oven preheating at 350 degrees. We're going to bake this for 10 minutes, and then we're going to pull them out. I'm going to brush something across the top of them, and then we'll bake them again. Now, while the sliders are in the oven, we're going to go ahead and make the topping. And I'm using half a stick of butter. I'm going to place it in a microwave-safe bowl, and then we're going to melt that. I don't know, I might just, pop the whole stick in there. There we go. Totally up to you. Y'all, I had this done before I even told y'all how to do it. That's crazy. All right, that's my melted butter. And I had garlic powder. I just went across the top with it, back over the other side with it. And then I added in some parsley flakes and went in that with about a teaspoon or so. You know, whatever you want. And then I just took my whisk here, blended that together. Well, not too difficult. All right. All right, round one. We're gonna take the foil off. Oh yeah, look how melty those are inside. Oh yeah. And then what we're gonna do is take that melted butter, garlic, and parsley and just dribble it all on top. Get into the sides. Make these really delicious. We're gonna see if I needed the whole stick of butter for this. But I'm gonna get down into the sides right here. Yeah. If you want to use half a stick of butter, that's totally fine. I tend to go overboard all the time. Ooh, these are gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. I love these buns. I love how they're already pre-cut. Y'all, these are fluffier than the King's Hawaiian rolls, I think. That's my opinion. You can have an opinion. You only live once. Lick the bowl. I guess if you have some extra butter, you could do that. And then down the back side here. I'm going to place these back in the oven for 5 minutes to finish melting that cheese. Oh, let me get under there. There we go. Oh, look at those. Gorgeous. Y'all see them? There they are. Picture perfect. Look at those things. Oh, yeah. Welcome back, everyone. Today we are making 2 appetizers for you. We're going to be using Jimmy Dean sausage and cream cheese in both of them. We're making a sausage cream cheese ball, and we're also making a sausage crostini. These are perfect for football season coming up and also the holidays. Some of y'all are going to have potlucks too in the fall. So this is perfect. We're going to start with the first one and make sausage cream cheese balls, my husband's favorite. It's all happening in one large mixing bowl. We have 6 ingredients. And the first one is Jimmy Dean sausage. I just use the regular. It does come in hot if you want a little extra heat to your sausage balls. All right, that's going in. Ooh, it smells good. I love the spices in here. And then we're going to take a block of cream cheese, 8 ounces. Make sure you bring this to room temperature. There we go. Passing that off, and passing that off the right way.
I wasn't prepared for that.
Let's talk about the next ingredient. We have Rotel diced tomatoes and green chilies, 10 ounces. If you don't like Rotel because it's too hot for you, you can use diced tomatoes that are in a can, drain them, and put 10 ounces into this dish here. But we're using the mild here, so the cream cheese and everything else will kind of mild out that flavor. All right, I'm going to go drain this and be right back. Looks good already, right? Bisquick. We're going to put in 1 3/4 cup. Sometimes people don't have Bisquick or can't find Bisquick, you know, in the area that you live. I have a recipe on my blog for Bisquick, and you can make it exactly the way you need to. That looks like a cup and 3/4. That looks good. Let's see a little bit more. There we go. We're going to add 1 cup of sharp cheddar cheese, or if you like the mild, you can do that also. I'm going to take a little bit of Parmesan that's shredded, add that, about 1/4 cup. It'll add a nice flavor. It'll go really well with that Rotel. There we go. I'm putting on some gloves. We're going to go in and mix this all together until it's well combined. I'm not gonna put any seasonings in this because the sausage has a really good flavor to it. You don't need to do much to it. We're ready to form some balls. We've got our sheet pan lined with some parchment paper or anything non-stick. We're gonna be using a cookie scoop. It's about 1.5 inch. We're just gonna go into the mixture. Place it into the palm of your hand. Just roll it lightly into a ball shape. And then we'll place that on our sheet pan on that parchment. Okay, y'all, let us know some of your favorite appetizers. I need lots of ideas. I've made so many of them. And stay tuned because we still have another one to make. As soon as we get these in the oven, we're gonna start the next appetizer recipe. So don't go anywhere. I've got my oven preheated at 400 degrees. We're gonna bake these off for about 20 to 25 minutes. You want them nice and golden brown and cooked through. Made about 45 of these. We have a smaller pan also. We're gonna go ahead now and start that sausage crostini while these are baking in the oven. Okay, for this recipe, you're gonna need some French bread already sliced. You can even get the French loaf bread and slice it yourself. You'll want it to be about this thick right here. We picked this up at the store pre-sliced. We're gonna put about 15 of these on a sheet pan. This is kind of a half of a recipe that we're doing today. But if you want to do a full recipe and make 30 of these, you can do that. But since we're doing the sausage balls also, we'll stick with this here. I'm just going to bring a small bowl over. We're going to put some oil in. You can use some olive oil or like avocado oil. That's good right there. We can always add more as we need it. I'm just going to take my bread. We're going to coat it with the oil. Now what we're going to do is we want to get both sides nice and toasty. We're going to flip them all over. Yep. And then we're going to brush this side with the oil. And like I said, if you need to add more oil to your dish, go right ahead. A little bit more. We're going to pop these in an oven. You want to put them into a 375-degree preheated oven for about 6 to 8 minutes till they get nice and toasty. We're going to flip it over about halfway through and toast the other side. So 4 minutes, flip them, 4 minutes, until you get a nice kind of golden toasty color on them. Now my oven is already at 400 degrees with those sausage balls in there, so I'm going to keep an eye on these when I put them in the oven. We're going to take half a thing of Jimmy Dean sausage and we're going to fry it up in a medium skillet. This is 16 ounces, so we're going to be doing 8 ounces. Let's break it up. While this is browning up, we're going to chop up an onion, some sweet peppers, just a few of them, and then we got some basil here that we're going to chop up. I'm only going to use about half of an onion. It's pretty small. So we're just going to take the ends off, peel that outer layer. Make sure you keep an eye on your toasty breads in the oven. I'm going to go check that right now. And cut the onion in half. Just going to follow the lines of the onion. I'm pretty close to that. I'm going to turn it and then I'm going to run my knife through it to get small dices here. We're going to add it to the sausage and let it kind of soften down as the sausage is cooking. Now you can use bell pepper if you want, use a red bell pepper, get some color in there, but I like the sweetness of the peppers here. So I'm just going to cut off the top, cut these in half lengthwise. I'm going to get the other hand in the kitchen to help stir that up. I'm just going to peel off any kind of membrane and seeds that we don't want. I'm going to dice these up pretty small. So I'm just going to make thin strips. Well, that sausage smells good.
It sure does.
And then we'll just turn the strips around. We're just going to make dices. Pull in your fingers. We're going to add this to the sausage and onion just to soften it down just a little bit. All right, let's take a look at the basil. We're gonna go ahead and destem it. Now basil, I find it like this in the store. It comes in a little package like that in your vegetable section of your store. All right, I'm just gonna roll up my basil, kind of do a chiffonade and then cut that. So we have little pieces. Tuck in your fingers. And give it a nice pretty color in there and a nice fragrance to it also. All right, let's add that. I'm gonna mix this up. We're gonna turn off the heat. We're gonna add in half of a package of cream cheese. Put that in. I'm gonna break it down into the sausage, the peppers, the onions, melt it down. While this is melting, I'm gonna go ahead and add in 4 ounces of mozzarella cheese, about half of this package here. Start melting that into it. Just keep stirring it until you get a nice mixture. We're gonna take a spoonful of the mixture. We're gonna spread it on the toasty bread here. Put it back on the sheet pan. That's so cheesy. Yum. Don't those look good? We're gonna place these back in the oven. It's still preheated at the 375 degrees. We're gonna bake these for about 7 to 10 minutes until they get nice and ooey gooey on the top and kind of a golden brown on there. What do y'all think of my 2 appetizers using Jimmy Dean's sausage? We have the cream cheese sausage balls and we have the sausage crostini. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Christmas show. It's appetizers today. I'm going to show you how to make 2 festive cheese balls. They will be delicious and they will look so pretty on your serving platter with crackers. One is going to be a reindeer, another one's going to be an ornament. These are going to be fun, you guys. We're going to start the first one, which is going to be the reindeer one. And we're going to start with 2 packages of cream cheese. Bring these to room temperature, make them nice and soft. You can leave them on your counter for like an hour to do that. Or you could just take them out straight out of your refrigerator, put them into a microwave safe bowl, and put them in the microwave. Just, 15, 20 seconds, give it a check, make sure it's nice and soft. We don't want them runny. Just soft. Make them nice and pliable so we can mix all the good stuff in them. Okay, you guys, I'm so happy because it's Christmas time and I got lots of good things coming your way. Yeah, we're super excited. Now these are 8-ounce blocks, 2 of them. There's 2. To the cream cheese, we're going to add 1/3 cup of sour cream. Kind of even that out. There we go. Okay, we're going to beat the cream cheese and sour cream together until it's nice and smooth. That way we can incorporate the other ingredients. Perfect cheese balls when you're decorating your tree. Probably everybody already has their tree up, right? I know I do. All right, it's nice and smooth. We're gonna add in 8 ounces of a shredded cheddar cheese. I got an 8-ounce block here because I want to put some fresh cheese in here. And we're gonna shred it up. I'm just going to cut it up into pieces that'll fit into my shredder. I lock it to my countertop. Put my cheese in. And great. Yeah, look at that. Woo-wee. Yes. I'm going to turn it around so you can see that. There we go. Just lock it on the counter and start shredding. There we go. Okay, we're gonna add it in to our cream cheese mix here. Yeah, fresh cheese. Stuff's good. Let's give it a try. Yep, can't beat it. We're gonna add something else. Ranch seasoning packet. All right, we're gonna add that. We're gonna go back in with the hand mixer. Blend this all together. Oh, it smells good in there. We're gonna turn it off. We're gonna get a spatula, a small spatula, and we're going to get all that mixture out of our beaters. It was pretty thick, but it needs to be to hold its shape, like a cheese ball. And we'll do the second one. Of course, we gotta give it a try. Make sure your flavors are where you want them. Now, you don't have to use the whole pack of the ranch seasoning dressing mix. You could use as much as you want. You can put half in there, give it a taste after you've mixed it all together. And if you feel like you need the rest, then you can add the rest. This is a 1 ounce package, 28 grams. All right, let's give that a try. Oh my goodness, where are the crackers? I'm gonna bring over some cling wrap. That way we can start forming the ball. We're gonna lay out 2 sheets. Want to kind of overlap the second sheet on top of the first sheet there. You're going to take your mixture and we're going to put it in the center. All right, we're going to take this wrap now and we're going to form a ball. Now it is going to be flat on the bottom because it's going to sit on a serving platter anyway. Okay, we're going to place this cheese ball in the refrigerator for about 30 minutes to 45 minutes till it solidifies up a little bit, and that way it's easy to handle. In the meantime, we are going to start the second cheese ball, which will be our ornament, and it's going to involve pomegranate seeds. You're only going to need 1 package of cream cheese for this pomegranate ornament cheese ball. Again, make sure it's nice and softened. This is going to have a different flavor profile because of the pomegranates, because it's more of a fruity flavor, but it's going to have some other flavors to really offset that. So, 1 block softened cream cheese, which is 8 ounces. To that, we are going to add in 4 ounces of white cheddar cheese. I'm doing the white because the orange will just kind of show through and wouldn't be as pretty with the pomegranates. Now this is Vermont Seriously Sharp white cheddar cheese. I'm going to go ahead and shred it up. Now it's really easy. You just push the button back here, pop off the handle. This comes out. That's a piece, and then just push the button. This part comes out, and that's your pieces. All right, we're going to add this to our cream cheese. Now, this is a key component to our cheese ball. It's the green onion. It's going to show up a lot of the green through the cheese ball, which will be pretty with the red pomegranate. Plus, it'll add a nice little zing to our mixture. So I've taken 3 green onions and I'm going to chop it all the way from the dark green into the white. It's a very festive cheese ball. Hey, he's here.
Hey, go figure.
He wasn't here for the first one, so I was moving around quite a lot. Let's add it to our cheese. We're going to go ahead and incorporate some pecans, and they're going to go into the mixture. You want to make sure that they're chopped. Sometimes overspill is a good thing.
Sometimes.
We're going to take some salt.
It's always good.
We need some saltiness. 1/4 of a teaspoon. All right, we'll go in one more time. Like 2 pinches. We're gonna take our electric hand mixer, we're gonna go in, and we're gonna blend this together. Get a spatula, and then we'll just clear out the beaters. I forgot to give that a try. I'm gonna go in right now. You wanna make sure that you have enough salt in there. That's good. All right. Can't wait to get the pomegranates on it. All right, we're just gonna make sure that everything is combined down in here. And we're gonna do what we did with the first one. So we're gonna lay some plastic wrap down. We're gonna put this to the center of it and form a ball. There we go. Do the best you can. Doesn't that look delicious? All right, just use the sides of your plastic wrap, or you can take another sheet of it and help form your ball. And then we're gonna wrap it up. All right, we're gonna place him in the refrigerator. We'll bring the other one out and start creating that reindeer one. I'm gonna take 2 cups of chopped pecans, and I'm just going to break them down even further into my food processor here. That should be good right there. Now this is just my small one, it just pulses. Now you don't want a fine crumb, you just want tiny little pieces. I'll bring you up here and show you what that looks like right here. All right, that's what it looks like. I'm gonna put this into a kind of a large, narrow bowl. Kind of go up the sides with it. We're gonna take the cheese ball we pulled out of the refrigerator. And we're gonna place it into our pecans. I'm just gonna go around the sides and then press into the ball the pecans. That's why I push it up on the sides. And then just keep pressing. Okay, you're gonna place it on your serving platter. Now let's turn it into a reindeer. We're gonna take 2 pretzels. I'm gonna show you this kind that you need. You want the twist, the big ones like this. So we're gonna put one right here. These are the antlers. And then we'll do one on this side. I'm using black olives that are pitted for the eyeballs. And we're gonna place it, one right here. Now I'm gonna use a toothpick to secure it. And I'm gonna go all the way as far in as I can with it. There we go. I'm gonna do the same on this side. That way it'll hold it in. I've got a cherry tomato. We're gonna kind of press it in. We're gonna secure that with the toothpick. What do y'all think of my reindeer cheese ball? Isn't he festive? Now to decorate our pomegranate ornament cheese ball, we're gonna use a kind of a medium bowl. We've got some pomegranates. These are the seeds. They usually come in a cup like this if you can find it. Place the ball in the bowl, and then we're gonna sprinkle on top, and then just kind of press in. It'll take a little bit of time. We're gonna take some rosemary sprigs, take some of the leaves. I'm just gonna pop it off of there. Pop it in every so often. Give it that nice festive look. What is the perfect appetizer?
Crab stuffed mushrooms.
We're gonna bring you up here and we're gonna show you everything you're gonna need to make these, and we're gonna put these together for you. This is my husband, Thomas.
Hey.
If y'all don't know him, he's my helper in the kitchen. I'm not a big mushroom fan, neither am I a crab fan, but I will make foods that I don't like for my family. But I got my husband in here today so that he can season, taste, and enjoy along the way. Here's everything you're gonna need. 1 egg, some Parmesan cheese,
Lump crab meat, ready to eat.
minced garlic, fresh parsley, onion, cream cheese.
Mushrooms.
Now the larger the better. Breadcrumbs, salt and pepper. Thomas is cleaning off 16 ounces of whole mushrooms. And generally what you can do at this point is just take some wet paper towels and scrub it around the mushroom, just removing the excess dirt off of the mushroom. Now, mushrooms will absorb water and become kind of spongy, and you don't want that. So if you're rinsing them underwater to clean them, just keep that in mind that they can get very watery.
Do it really fast.
Yeah, so they can get really watery when you put them in the oven to cook them, so be careful with that. While he's doing that, I'm going to take an onion, and I'm just going to really cut this very small, and we're just going to use like half of it, or even a quarter of it. It depends on the size of your onion. I'm going to take my knife. I'm just going to run through the lines of the onion really thin. And then I'm going to run my knife through that as we turn the onion. And that'll make small dices. Just like that. Okay, the mushrooms are all cleaned. Now what you want to do...
Oh, wait. I get to do this now.
He wants to do
No, move. I get to do it. Hey!
Everyone knows where my eggshells go when I crack eggs, right?
Yeah, for once I got to do it.
Yep, you got to throw it all the way over there into the sink. Okay, I got my onion done. What we're going to do is take the stems out of the mushrooms. So you want to take it and just kind of twist it and pop it out. Now we're going to chop up a few of these into the onions here. That way it'll bulk up our filling. Now if you have problems with that, you can just get a small spoon and scrape out that stem. Now I'm going to cut the stems really small, like we did the onion.
Yeah, this one's a double.
Oh my.
It's a twofer.
We're going to get our skillet ready. Thomas is going to add about 1 tablespoon of cooking oil, which we're using an avocado oil, to our regular skillet. We're going to place it on a medium heat. And then once that gets hot, we're going to start adding in our onion and our chopped up mushroom stems. We're going to add 2 teaspoons of minced garlic. We're going to stir that around for about 30 seconds. We're going to add a little bit of salt and pepper. All right, we got some pepper going in. Does that look good?
Yep.
And some salt.
Yeah, pinch it.
There we go.
All right.
Stir that up for about another 30 seconds, and we'll turn that off. We're going to add 4 ounces of cream cheese to the onion garlic mixture with the stems. We're going to soften that down and get it all mixed in. We're going to use the residual heat from the pan to melt that cream cheese into the onions.
Yeah, you could just give me some chips right now.
You're going to need some more flavor in there.
No.
Which we got coming.
This would be a good dip right here.
Once we get this all combined, we're going to place this into a bowl. Okay, there we go. We got lots of other stuff to put in there. Okay, we're going to open up our crab meat here, and we're just going to place it on a plate, layer it. We're going to dig through and see if we can find any shells that may be left in here. You want to make sure you do that.
Yeah, it's no fun biting into a crab shell.
We're only going to need 4 ounces. Yeah, here, let me add it.
I got it now. I just had to get a little lift on it.
Got to keep in mind how many mushrooms we're working with right
thank
now.
you.
Okay. So he's going to take the fork, fingers, whatever you have, and look through and see if you find any shells.
Y'all see any? Sing out if you see it. I don't see any.
We're going to add the crab to our mixture there. And while he's doing that, I'm just going to chop up about 2 tablespoons of fresh parsley. I'm using the curly parsley. That's going to add a nice pop of color to the filling. I've got 1 egg here. We're gonna whisk it up. I'm gonna use this as a binder. All right, make sure you whisk that good. Gonna pour that in. We're gonna add in, Thomas's, 1/2 cup of shredded Parmesan cheese. And then we're gonna add in 1/4 cup of breadcrumbs. That's it right here.
I'm using 1/4 cup.
Yeah, we're using 1/4 cup, so we went in twice into the Parmesan. Yep, all right. Then we're gonna go in with 1 tablespoon of dried chives. That's more onion flavor. All right, now we're gonna mix it up. All you need is a fork. Don't worry.
Oh, I see. I see.
We're gonna spray a 9x13 baking dish with some nonstick cooking spray. This will help those mushrooms from sticking. And then we're gonna place our mushrooms into the baking dish, give them a little room.
Mine.
And you want them stem up.
Also mine.
That way we can fill them. I guess I'll make Thomas slather the butter.
Oh, darn.
I melted 1/2 stick of butter, and he's just gonna go in and get those nice and slathered. All in it, around it, on the sides of it. Okay, y'all, let me know what your favorite appetizers are for holidays. I have a ton of them out there. If you go to catherinesplates.com, you'll even find more stuffed mushrooms with sausage and other ingredients. So go check that out, and then go check out my other appetizers that I've made. Now, my recipe blog is catherinesplates.com. I'll have it come up right here. You can type that in, and then go to the search bar, type in appetizers, or type in mushrooms. This recipe will be there also. Woo-wee.
What?
He is slathering, isn't he? Yes. That's another layer of flavor. Look at that little one.
That one's for the kids. Here, I'll even give them a little bit extra. There we go. Can't say I don't do anything for them.
We're back. I'm just kidding. Okay, we're going to take the crab mixture and a spoon, and we're going to stuff the mushrooms. And you want to go all the way down inside of it, and then kind of mound the filling over the mushroom.
You put an egg in this thing, so I couldn't just take that spoon and put it in my mouth.
That's right.
I'll do it anyway.
No, you won't. No, you won't. I don't know, raw egg and crab.
Quite a bit of crab here. I'm going to have to really lay it in there.
Yeah, I'm sure that's not a problem for you.
Nope, won't hurt my feelings any.
Okay, we're going to take some Parmesan cheese that's been shredded, and we're just going to place them right on top of the mixture. Y'all, it's the holidays. Flavor these up. Okay, now what we're going to do is, if you have any filling left over, could be possible, just take a ramekin, put your filling into it, and then we'll bake it right beside the mushrooms.
Yeah, and then you just need some chips.
Yep.
And you got a heck of a dip.
Some crackers, chips, whatever you want. Then you got your crab dip. We're going to place these in the oven that we've preheated at 375 degrees for 20 to 25 minutes till the top is nice and golden brown. And you want your mushrooms to be nice and soft and tender.
That's what that butter will do.
Oh, yeah. We'll be back, and you know who's going to give this a try. All right, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below and that bell notification, because that will notify you when videos are posted. And I have a ton of them coming out for the holidays, so stay tuned or go back and check out what I've done in the past few weeks. We'll be back. What do y'all think of our crab stuffed mushrooms? We've just pulled these out of the oven. I put a little sprinkling of parsley on top to give them a pop of color. Thomas is going to give them a try for you. All right, let us know what you think. Did you burn your mouth? What do you think?
Oh, good.
Good? I'm going for a towel for you. Welcome back, everyone. It's appetizer day here at Catherine's Plates, and I'm going to show you how to make Humpty Dumpty dip. This is a deconstructed version of deviled eggs, but better. There's some creaminess gonna happen in it, some extra flavors, but y'all, we're gonna take that stress level out of your holidays, okay? When you wanna make deviled eggs and you're trying to peel the perfect egg. It doesn't have to be that perfect when we make the eggs, okay? We've got football season happening. We've got potlucks happening with the holidays and the holidays, right? So y'all come along and let's put together this Humpty Dumpty dip. And you can serve it up with crackers, celery, carrots, anything that you can just kind of dip into something. First thing we got to do is hard boil our eggs. Now you can do them any way you like. Now I'm going to be using my rapid egg cooker. It is so much easier. Now you can find this rapid egg cooker, it's the Dash, on my recipe blog, catherinesplates.com, under my store items. There's an Amazon link there for it. And then what you do is you just take your little cup here, you fill it up to the line of where you want your eggs. You can do soft, you can do medium, you can do omelet or poached, and I'm going to be doing the hard-boiled egg. We'll just put that in the pan. And that'll give you the perfect hard-boiled egg. I'm telling you what. We're going to lay our rack in there. We're going to take the eggs. Now, on the bottom of the cup, you're going to take off the bottom part, and there's a little point there. I don't know if y'all can see that. I'll try to see if y'all can see that. You just take your egg on the bottom. That's the largest part of the egg. You just put that right there on top, push down. And you'll hear it crack in. And then you'll see the hole right there. Place it whole side up. And we'll do the rest of these. That'll allow the steam to get inside of there, loosen that shell from the egg as it's cooking, and help you peel these eggs like you wouldn't believe. 5 and 6. So we'll do 6 eggs. That'll make a good amount of a dip. All right, we're going to place the lid on. Now, the amount of water in the bottom here that we filled up will determine how long these eggs will cook. We put the lid on. You do not want to twist the lid and have it lock, okay? Because you want that steam to be able to build up in there. And if it builds up too much, it'll explode, and you don't want that to happen. So you want it to be able to move a little bit. We're going to turn it on, and it'll do the rest. Now, since we're doing 6 eggs, the timer will take 16 minutes, and it'll be done. All right, the timer will go off. We'll turn it off. And I'm going to remove the eggs to a bowl of ice cold water. That'll stop the cooking process on the inside. Cool the eggs down just enough for us to peel them. We're going to take an egg. And we're going to peel it. Look at that. There we go. Y'all, you can't beat the Dash, the rapid egg cooker. This would probably give you perfect deviled eggs. Look at that. I'm just going to put them back in the water there. All right, there we are. Now I've got a bowl of a food processor, and I'm going to put 3 of the hard-boiled eggs into the bowl. And then what we're going to do is cut the others in half. That's the 3. And we'll pop out the yolks and put those in the bowl also. Hang on to the whites. It's a texture thing. Y'all, look at that yolk. Yes, perfectly cooked. Look at the color of that. And we'll do this one here. You can double up on this recipe if you want to do that and make plenty. All right, let's put some flavor in there. I've got some cream cheese. I've softened it. This is 4 ounces. We'll put that in. Just stick it in there. And then I've got a 1/4 cup of mayonnaise. Now, if you don't want to use mayonnaise, you can even use Greek yogurt or sour cream, or do half and half. Not half and half, but like half of one and half of another. And then we're going to add in half a tablespoon of some vinegar. Put a little bit of mustard in there, about a teaspoon. Now we're going to season it up. We're going to put in half a teaspoon of salt. About a quarter teaspoon of black pepper. A little less than that, maybe 1/8 of a teaspoon. You judge how you want it. Now I'm going to sprinkle in just a little bit of cayenne pepper. You know who that'll make happy.
Heck yeah.
There we go.
You can keep sprinkling.
Well, I got to eat it too. And then, of course, we've got some paprika. It'll give it a nice color, a nice smokiness, and you know paprika goes on a deviled egg, right? All right, I'm going to bring my processor over here, and then we'll blend this together. All right, we're going to whiz this up until we get a nice smooth consistency. All right, y'all take a spoon and go in and see if you need to adjust any flavorings. That tastes like the holidays. We're good there. All right, so what we're going to do is take out the mixture and put it into a bowl. All right, we're going to get it all in there. All right, now what we're going to do is take those egg whites. We're going to chop them up. I'll use the mayonnaise knife here. We can give it a little texture in there. It is deconstructed, so we got to give it a little texture there. All right, we're going to add that in. Grab some nice fresh chives, and we're going to snip some in there. It'll give it a nice pop of color and a freshness to the dish. All right, let's combine this all together. You can see the texture of the egg in there, and the green onion in there, which I think I'm going to put some more in there. Let me show you how we're going to serve this up. You can serve this up any way you want. Get a little freshness on top. I love paprika on deviled eggs, right? Right across the top. Let's load it up with some pretzel crisp. Okay, where are you bringing this to? Welcome back, everyone. It's appetizer day, and I'm going to show you how to make cranberry Brie bites. These are delicious. They're perfect for the holiday season, and they look divine on your Christmas table. So why not? You got pretty colors. We're going to keep it simple by using crescent dough and 4 simple ingredients. Already, let's go ahead. We're going to start rolling out our crescent roll dough. Crescent rolls can come in the triangles, and that's totally fine. You can roll it out. There we go. Or you can get it in the sheet like this, and then we're going to cut it into pieces. This is also perfect for football season. You've got tailgating, you've got people coming over to your house, or you want to bring something to other people's house for football. Ooh, bring this one. Now I'm using a silicone mat, and these fit in your trays to bake cookies on. This is small enough to where we can roll out our dough. I'm going to sprinkle just a little bit of flour on here. You can use a regular work surface too, like your counter. You just want to make sure that the dough doesn't stick. So make sure you flour it really well, and then just scoot over the excess flour. Now, if you can find the sheet of dough, that's perfect. If not, like I said, just use the triangle dough. And once you roll it out, you can pinch it all together. And put a little bit of flour on the top so we can just roll this out a little bit, thin it out. There we go. I'm going to get my rolling pin. Just kind of roll it out. Just nice and even. Keep the rectangular shape. There we go. Perfect, right there. Okay, we're going to take the pizza cutter and we're going to cut this into 24 pieces. So we're going to cut right down the center the long way, and then we're going to cut 2 more the long way. So you have 4 strips. And try to keep them the same size if you can. Now what we're going to do is cut these into 6 pieces. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to bring over our pan. Now this is a 24 mini muffin tin. You want the minis for this one here. We're going to spray this with some nonstick cooking spray. There we go. Take 1 square of your crescent dough. We're going to place it, just kind of stretch it out a little bit, and then place it into the muffin tin. These are going to balloon up when they cook in the oven. Just like that. We're going to keep doing that until we get them all filled. All right, I love appetizers. This time of the year is perfect for them. There's so many reasons to make appetizers, right? You got Christmas, you got New Year's, you've got football, you've got potlucks, things at work where you need to bring something. Oh my gosh, bring these. They're really quick and easy to put together. These are great for potlucks at work, church. All right, now if you have the small ones, you can just stretch them out and then just fit it in there. I have like an old video making these for you. I don't know if a lot of y'all have been around at that time. Might have been 4 or 5 years ago when I made these. So big difference though. That was when I first started my channel, but it's out there. You can find it. Stretch it, stretch it. Okay, look at that. Set these off to the side, open up a can of cranberry and just put it in a bowl. Y'all, I have to tell y'all something. This is hilarious. I gave a can of cranberry sauce to my daughter to open during Thanksgiving, and she was trying to open it right here. And with cranberry sauce, it says on the right here, open other end. So I had to flip it over for her. She's going to kill me for saying this, but... All right, now we all know you have an extra can of cranberry sauce in your pantry from Thanksgiving. And if not, the stores still have them, which is nice. Take your knife, drag it around the edge of it, and it pops right out. There we go. All right, let's mash it up. All right, I'm just going to grab me a spoon. It'll be easier than a fork. All right, we don't need that anymore. Let's put that right here. All right, we're going to take a little spoonful, like a tablespoon, put it right in the center of each dough. And you don't want to overfill, so we got some other stuff to put in. All right, I'm going to speed this up for you. Oh, I missed one right there. There we go. Yum. All right, let's talk about the cheese. I am using Brie, which is B-R-I-E, and this is a buttery and creamy cheese. It's very soft. It has a rind around it, and we're going to be pulling that off. You don't need very much of this. This is actually 7 ounces, and I'm not even sure we're going to be using all of that. So we're going to take it out of its wrapper. I'm going to cut off the white rind of the cheese. Just cut it very thin so you don't lose a lot of that cheese. Now, Brie cheese is very popular during the holidays. So what I'm going to do now is cut this in half, and I'm going to cut through that top layer of that white. Get that off of there. Now, we're going to cut this into strips, and then we're going to cut the strips into small pieces. And then you're going to take the small pieces, and we're going to place them right on top of the cranberry sauce. All right, I'm going to give this a try for you. Let's go. It's definitely buttery. It's very smooth and creamy. It's got a mild flavor. Yes, it's perfect for this recipe. All right, I'm going to cut up the rest of this, and then we're going to put them all on top of our cranberry sauce here. Yeah, you see where I'm going? Fun. Okay, I only needed half of the wheel, so the other half is pretty much intact there, and you can use that for anything you want. If you want to make another whole pan of these, just a little sprinkling. You know, if you don't want to add the nuts, you don't have to. If you want to put them on half of them, you can. Not everybody likes pecans. Okay, we got to give these the Christmas feel. Got some rosemary here, add a nice little flavor. We're just going to take some of the sprigs off and place it on top of the pecans. So just hold it, pull off a sprig, put it on top. So you're just going to hold it and pull it off. It smells like Christmas on this tray of cranberry brie bites. I've got my oven preheating at 375 degrees. We're going to bake these for about 15 minutes until the crescents are nice and golden brown and cooked through. Then we're going to give it a try. Okay, I've just pulled these cranberry brie bites out of the oven. Look how delicious these look. Just pop one out, place it onto your serving tray or platter, and then fill them up. Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we are going to make meatball subs on a stick. A fun, delicious appetizer. This one is perfect for football season, the holidays coming up quicker than you think. We can even make this for dinner. Meatball subs on a stick, that's what it sounds like. Almost like a meatball sandwich, but in a smaller form. And I'm going to show you how we're going to do this. We're going to make the meatballs first, and of course, we are going to be stuffing them with cheese. We got to put the cheese somewhere. So we're going to start with a bowl. Got 2 pounds of ground beef in it that I just kind of broke up. We'll add the rest of the ingredients. To the ground beef, we're going to add half a cup of breadcrumbs or panko breadcrumbs, which I'm using right there. We're going to crack in 2 eggs. Got 1 and 2. We're going to take some Parmesan cheese. I'm just going to grate some in. We're going to put in plenty of it, just a couple of tablespoons. We're going to add in a tablespoon of minced garlic, a couple of teaspoons of Italian seasoning, and there we go. This dish is Italian inspired. We're going to go in 1/4 teaspoon or so of salt. We got cheese going in, and then we got another cheese going in, so I'm going to keep the salt to a minimum. And we've got black pepper, about 1/4 teaspoon. You can dice up an onion and add it to it, or you can add some minced onion, which I'm going to do. Just make things a little faster. Let's see. That looks good right there. I'm going to grab my gloves, and I'm going to mix this together. This is the perfect appetizer for football season, the holidays coming up. You know, those are coming up really quick. We're going to have these for dinner. Hey, let's make some meatballs. We're going to be incorporating mozzarella cheese into the meatball, so you want to make sure that you have cubes of the cheese. Always consider it like bite-sized pieces. You want plenty. We're going to be making about 36 meatballs. If you find a package of the cubed mozzarella cheese, you want to make sure you have at least 36 pieces in the package. All right, let's form the meatballs. I'm using the small cookie scoop. This is about 1.5 inch. Just go into the mixture, press firmly on the side. Place it into the palm of your hand. We're going to take a piece of the cheese right here, place it right into the center, form the meatball around the cheese, and then we're going to roll it. We're going to place it on a sheet pan lined with some parchment paper or foil, whatever you have. Using the cookie scoop keeps all of your meatballs the same size. The cheese, and roll it. You want to roll it nice and tight so that your cheese doesn't ooze out. It'll be a nice surprise for somebody, huh? You bite in a nice big thing of cheese. All right, let's set these aside. We're going to be using pizza crust. This is the rectangular shape, which will be a lot easier to cut these into strips. This is a 13.8 ounce size tube. Just going to give you an idea. I'm going to put a little bit of flour on the work surface. I'm just going to smooth it out. And then we're going to roll out the dough. I'm just going to press it out. Make sure it's nice and even. I'm going to go get my pizza cutter. We're going to cut the dough and we want strips. Just like that. I'm just spacing these out. That way they don't stick together. All right, so I have a pack of skewers. Have yourself another pan. We're going to place a piece of parchment on it. Take your skewer, you're going to put it through one end of your dough. We're going to take the meatball, place it through the skewer. You're going to go through that cheese too. And then we're going to place the skewer through the dough. I'm going around the meatball. Then just keep pushing it down. Another meatball. Remember there's cheese in the center. We're going to push through the dough. We're going to press through another meatball. I'm going to bring the dough through the skewer on top of the meatball, and then we're going to do it one more time. So we're going to have 4 meatballs on each stick. And then bring that through, and then we're just going to wrap the dough like a figure 8 all the way down. And then just pinch it onto the bottom dough, and it should look like that. Now make sure they have room because the pizza dough will bake and grow in size there. All right, I'm going to finish the rest of these up and bring you back. Let's set these aside. Let's make some garlic butter. We're going to add half a stick or 1/4 cup of butter to a microwave safe bowl. We're going to place it in the microwave for 30 seconds, melt it. A tablespoon of minced garlic, about a tablespoon dried parsley. Take a pastry brush, blend this together. And we're going to coat them right across the top. Smells delicious. Ooh, slathered on. We're going to bake these in the oven. It's preheated at 375 degrees. We're going to bake these for 20 to 25 minutes until the meatballs are cooked through and the pizza crust wrapped around them, golden brown. What do y'all think? These look delicious. My meatball subs on a stick. I'm just going to put some grated Parmesan across the top. We're serving it up with our favorite marinara sauce. There we go. Welcome back, everyone. It's lunchtime and we're going to make a quick and easy recipe called baked ham and cheese pinwheels. This is perfect for any time, for appetizer, for lunch, for dinner. Make them for breakfast and add some eggs to it. Ooh, that would be like really good. Okay, today I'm making my pinwheels using crescent roll dough. Now I have used pizza dough and other things perfectly fine, like puff pastry. You can use that also. Okay, I have 1 tube of crescent roll dough, 8 ounces. This is just the original. If you can find the sheet, that works really well. If not, we're just gonna pinch these seams closed to make our sheet. All right, let's open it up. Woo! I was gonna say before I open this up, but it did it itself. I'm gonna set it off to the side for just a second. Let's put some flour on our clean work surface. I'm just using my cutting board here just to keep things from sticking. About ½ a tablespoon of some flour. Just gonna shake that around nice and evenly. There we go. I'm gonna pop this out of here. That is the crescent dough out of the tube. There we go. I'm gonna set it in the middle here and we're gonna find the end.
Or the beginning.
Or the beginning. All right, I'm gonna roll it out. Now I'm just gonna pinch the seams. Just make sure your hands are nice and clean. And then what I'm gonna do to ensure that it's nice and closed, I'm gonna take a little bit more flour, about that much, just sprinkle it on. There we go. I'm gonna take my rolling pin and I'm just gonna roll it out just a little bit, just to thin it out somewhat. Just like that. Nice and even. I'm gonna go back and make sure that everything's pinched closed. All right, we're gonna take some ham. This is a Black Forest uncured. I got the thin stuff, that way it can roll easy. That's what it looks like. And it smells delicious. We're gonna lay these all over our dough sheet right here. Gotta go in and give that a try. Oh my goodness. That's a good flavor. All right, I've got one more piece here. What should I do with it? Y'all got any suggestions?
Give it to Thomas.
Did y'all hear that? He's pretty hungry. All right, we're going to take some baby Swiss cheese. We're going to cover the ham with it. Ooh, y'all, it was raining this morning and very windy, and I had to go out there and get the cans.
Trash cans, yeah.
And oh my goodness, because they were blowing down the street. Okay, so I'm going to layer the cheese on here. I'm excited for this one. All right, we'll take a piece. Put it right here and right there. Now we're going to roll it. What you want to do is start at the long end nearest you, pull up the dough, keep it nice and tight. We're going to get it going. Luckily, we have one of our kids coming over today, and they'll be able to share this. We're going to keep it going nice and tight. Now, when you get to the end, we're going to leave that seam side down. That's this right here. You want that down on the board, just like that. Okay, we're going to start cutting these into our pinwheels. We're going to start right in the center. I'm using a bread knife. It's got a nice serrated edge to it, and I'm going to go through it very gently. And then we're going to cut these in half. And then we're going to cut this one in half. Bring some extra hands with you if you need to. Now, what I'm going to do is cut each one of these into 3s. Just kind of eyeball it there. Yep, that's what it's going to look like. Now, we still have a nice glaze we're going to make for these. Now, if you want these thinner, you can cut these into 4s and not 3s. Now we got 13.
Baker's dozen.
All right, let's make the glaze. In a medium bowl, we're going to melt 1/2 cup of butter. In my case, 1 stick. 45 seconds in the microwave. There we go. I'm going to let the residual heat from the bowl and the melted butter melt the rest of that. We're going to add in 1/2 tablespoon of mustard. I'm using just the regular yellow mustard, or you can use Dijon mustard. All right, we've got some minced onion. Just going to shake some in. Probably about 2 tablespoons. There we go. That looks good. Garlic powder. Flavor it up. About 1/4 teaspoon to 1/2 teaspoon of the garlic powder. And then we're going to add a whole lot of poppy seeds. 1 tablespoon. Let's blend this together. Give it a taste and see if you need to add anything else. That's delicious. We're going to bring over a 9x13 baking dish, and I'm going to spray it with some nonstick cooking spray. We're going to bring over our pinwheels, place them in your dish. Give them some room because they've got to puff up as they bake. All right, take your glaze and coat each of our pinwheels. Slather it on. Glaze smells delicious. We're going to bake this in a preheated oven at 350 degrees for about 25 minutes until they get nice and puffy and golden brown. I'll be back. Okay, I just pulled these out of the oven. Look at how golden brown these are. The cheese has melted. Woo! Got a salad to go with it. This is a Caesar salad. It's from a kid. All right, I'm going to take a bite for you. Look at that. Oh, yeah. That is so good. That's nice and tasty. I love that ham, y'all. If you haven't tried the Black Forest ham, give it a shot. Or let us know what kind of ham you're going to put into your pinwheels. That glaze just goes right through to the bottom of this. Mixes in with that ham and the cheese. Give me a thumbs up on this one. I'll see y'all on the next episode. Bye.